Good morning, it's James. I do hope and pray this message finds you and your loved ones peaceful, thriving, and well. I'm really excited about seeing you this morning because I think you're going to love what it is that we are intending for today. You know, when I was a little boy, I used to always think about this idea of predicting my future. And at that time, my future didn't look so awesome. And I think most of the time I was probably fantasizing. Probably a lot of it was delusional at the time, because a lot of things when I was a little boy just weren't hopeful. And it's interesting that a coping mechanism such as predicting your future is a fantasy that so many young people put forward. And then as I start to look at the literature and the research about what so many adults are doing these days, we're doing a lot of the same thing. And we have sometimes the unfortunate history of going, I'm 58 years old and I haven't been able to predict my future so well so far. So how do I begin today to maybe have a better opportunity to navigate, predict, and then absolutely accomplish the future I'd love to have? Well, you know what? There's so many things that are certainly out of our hands. But one of the things that's within all of us every single moment of our life is the power of intention. And sometimes when we hear that word intention, it's easy to go into places where, I don't know, that seems so, it seems so metaphysical, way too esoteric, way too woo-woo. Well, let me tell you, I'm woo-woo, I'm metaphysical, and I'm definitely a spiritual person like you. And when I hear that word intention more and more, though, because of the science that stands behind it, there's so much about what we can use with the power of intention to actually help us predict our future. Absolutely, when it comes to our neurochemistry. What we know is that when we affirm and we visualize, we use mantras, we use prayers, we see what we'd love to have, or we write it down, it begins an experience in our brains. It begins an energetic shift in our mind. It literally starts to lay down a path for us to follow where it is that we would love to go, what we'd love to experience. There is something that happens under the influence of affirmations and visualizations and mantras and prayers and writing things down that elicits and then ignites a movement of something called neuropeptides. So neuropeptides are basically proteins. I like to think of them as little building blocks that when you start to think or pray or say a mantra or visualize, these proteins start to build on each other. And they build toward a future that you'd love to have. It's absolute. It's science. But what's so key about this experience of neuropeptides, it's the belief that we have behind them. And that's the hard part, right? Sometimes when we use an affirmation or we visualize some historical memory or some issue with worthiness, self-esteem, confidence, self-love, pops in and goes, wait a second, who do you think you are? You can't have that future, or that's not something you could ever experience. Look at your history. You've never been able to do that. So what makes you think you can do that now? When I have that come up for me, just like probably everyone is here this morning goes, oh my gosh, you too? Yeah, me too, of course. That's just life, isn't it? We've all had experiences where we've had a big dream and something got in the way. So often for me, it was me getting in my own way, me talking myself out of my light, talking myself out of my spiritual greatness, and settling for something so much less than what I wanted. So what I've been doing more and more these days is I've been entering with one new mantra. How dare you not have that? How dare you not believe that's within you? When you understand what neuropeptides do for a living, they are really connected to this one spiritual principle. And that is that spirit is never held by precedent. It is never held back by history. Spirit is an affirmative forward motion of opportunity. It's up to us to lay the foundation through our thinking, through our visioning, through our affirming, and through the absolute acceptance of that certainty that's within all of us. Getting out of the way and allowing those neuropeptides to create the path for us to follow with confidence, with grace, with a sense of zealous excitement and gratitude, and just trust. Just trust. And if and when a voice comes up and says to you, how dare you think you can have that? How dare you believe that's within you? How dare I not believe that? Because spirit is never held back by anything. Spirit is never held. Spirit is never, ever, ever held back by something that's historical. Spirit is a forward momentum, and how it is that you can see and achieve and conceive all in the same synergistic experience, and then move towards it with a sense of beautiful expectancy. That is your vow. That is why we took our first breath, to experience this level of certainty in creating a life that we love. So here's to the mantra of possibility. Here's to the opportunity to build neuropeptides with a level of zeal and certainty and confidence to create that life and move forward with grace and ease, knowing it is already done. Much love, all blessings. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.